Now, as someone who likes to go for runs and being an Apple avid user, my go-to device when I want to go out and listen to music is the Apple AirPods Pro. Now, it's a good device all in all, but I do have my problems with it. One is that this casing is so beautiful in its aesthetics that I can't do anything else with it. It looks beautiful the way it is, right? The next thing that is because its beauty is actually derived from how smooth it is. So, as anyone who actually has AirPods Pro, they already know the AirPods Pro is so smooth on its outside. Now, when I'm actually running, this is actually a con because they're so smooth, they tend to slip out of my ear, and that causes me a distraction. While I'm running, I've got to stick it back into my ear. Not very good. So we've received review units of the Klipsch T52 True Wireless Sport, and that's what we're gonna go and check it out now. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell button to be informed of new videos whenever they come out. Before we begin, I'd just like to thank TC Acoustics for providing us this review unit. Thank you very much for letting us try this out ahead of time. So we were sent a couple of T5 True wireless earbuds a while back. My friends Kai and Saleh already have one version. If you want to have a look at Saleh's video, look here. If you want to have a look at Kai's video, look here for the McLaren version. But I'm actually reviewing the Sport version because specifically I like to go running with my devices. So let's have a look at this. This is the packet itself, right? And almost off the bat, it's gonna tell you straight up what's actually inside it. Now, let's just have a look, see, right? So it tells you got the earbuds, it's got the devices itself, it's got the ear wings, it's got the casing, the cable, and of course the manual. So that's the outer casing, where it's a slide out casing. Nice. So there's the inside casing itself, just one black box like that. Now when we open it, okay, we've got some protection foam, the manual itself, and the device itself. We've got Klipsch story at the top, and then after that it's the items inside it itself, like so. They even give you is straight away the how you're gonna connect it to your phone, which comes in very very useful because that's the first thing you want to see, right? Ooh, that almost dropped it. Okay, so this is the device itself. I can hear some rattling. Now what the rattling is actually a silica pebbles, gel pebbles. They're going to be absorbing the moisture from your device over time, and these are your ports. That's your charging port. Now this packet here that can come off, you take this out and then you put it into the microwave for these 30 seconds to reactivate them, and then you can use them again to absorb moisture from your device, which is great so that you don't have disgusting wet sweaty device. Okay, so we've talked about the casing, we've talked about the silica gel port. I want to talk about what they actually include. Now this is the instruction box that came with it, and I actually wanted to show you guys specifically how they actually thought about this. This is actually a very smart way of actually showing how someone like Klipsch is actually thinking about how somebody is using their devices and in terms of choosing their tips. Now this is actually a very important process when somebody's choosing their tips, because I get confused sometimes when I get tips and I don't know which size exactly I'm using. I don't know unless I actually put it back in here to see the comparison, but they make it so easy because it's all color coded. It just makes sense. Look at that, it just absolutely makes sense. It makes absolute sense for it to work out that way. That's great. These are the additional ear wings. Yep, this is the additional ear wings and foam tip. So that's great. I'm going to use that a lot. So for the wire itself, it's a USB-C to USB-C. Now it does come with our standard USB port for those of us who are still requiring that normal port for charging, and that's everything that's actually inside it. Not a bad package. I kind of like it. This is very interesting. So they decided to put, in terms of what else they could give you, is this lanyard. I've been seeing a lot of users with Apple AirPods Pro or Apple AirPods, and they've been like using an additional casing that they can attach a lanyard to, so that they can put it on their bag or their pants or whatever. Kind of like a fashion statement, and it kind of makes sense because you always have it on you. So this is a great idea that they include it directly in what they actually provide you within the product. So that's great. So it says, according to the manual, that is the first thing you see. You got to pop this in for 2 seconds. I'm popping it in, and what's happening is there is a red light. I'm not sure that you can see it. Yep, that's it. That's the red light. So when you see the red light, it means that something's happening, right? It means it's being charged. That's great. I'm gonna start using the. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is the design, and then I'm gonna go into the battery life, and then just first impressions about using it. So like so. Oh, there's a lady saying power on. Full battery. Device pairing. Not bad. I'm just gonna pair it. You know what? In terms of design, when I'm first wearing it, it makes sense. I already feel more confident because of the ear wing securing the device to my ear. Very welcome. The next thing that I would just like to talk about is the fit. It feels really secure. It feels quite deep, and when I'm actually listening to it, it's a good sound, and I really do like it. So that's what I'm starting to feel right now. In terms of battery life, these devices go for 8 hours, and the case can go for another 24 hours. So that's 36 hours in all. I kind of dig it. I've been having the AirPods Pro stem for a long time, and this is definitely something different. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these babies out for a run. I'll be right back.
So I've just taken them for a run. As you can see, they're right here, and they're actually quite secure. I do not feel any sensation of it slipping off. In terms of music play, it's actually more than loud enough. I'm not even going to the full maximum. In terms of transparency mode, like all transparency mode, you're not actually going to be able to hear somebody talking, but you can actually hear your environment. Right now I can actually hear the birds, I can actually hear the water fountains right in the background. All in all, I actually like the distractionlessness of these things falling out, which I do appreciate. I cannot get that on my AirPods Pro, but because the Klipsch comes with the ear wings, that helps me a lot. I like it a lot simply because of that. Now another thing I'd like to just share with you is how they've taken the time to think about the really small things, right? Now I've had Kai and Saleh laugh at me about this, but if you look at the casing here, you'll see the yard here. Now I talked about this earlier, but this is really very handy. There is no way that I can do this with the AirPods Pro unless I get a casing for it. But what Klipsch did was they included it in their own box. Now that tells me that they really thought about their usage, how people are using these devices. And that kind of forethought is actually very welcome from somebody who's actually making hardware. I like it when people are using that kind of feedback to actually make their products more useful to their customers. Now, being an Apple user and an AirPods Pro owner, there's one thing that I do kind of appreciate, and something that I've been living with, which is there's no stem. Now, of course, what gives away from this having this stemless design is that when I'm using these in a talking mode or a phone call mode, it's not as clear as when I use the AirPods Pro. But when I'm going running, these actually feel like they were made for running. And that's what I think I like. I think I'm going to use these for running and my AirPods Pro for my daily drivers, because this is very comfortable for long distance running and it doesn't slip out at all. I'm trying my best. I've got a headache now. But yeah, if you want tubeless tubeless earbuds that do not fall off your ear, I think this is it. It's pretty comfortable, unless we try something else in the future. But for now, this Klipsch T52 wireless sports, my god, it's a very long name, actually do fit the bill.
I want to spend a bit of time talking about the experience of using the device. I would like to say that using the device is actually really good feeling. I'm not distracted as much because I don't have to keep putting the AirPods Pro back in because it keeps slipping out. The audio, the sound performance while on the run was great. It didn't miss a beat at all. It stayed connected throughout, and I was able to use the device without any it became an afterthought. I didn't really think about it, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm using any sports equipment. I don't want to think about it. I want to do the sport that I'm doing and focus on that. The sound performance, the beats are there. The bass is it's not fantastic, but again, I'm focused on the fact that I have these devices and they're loud. I'm not using it to its maximum. I've only got it about 3/4 of the way, or even half, and I'm getting all the audio I need. The one thing I find a bit quirky was when I wanted to recharge it. I didn't realize how weird the placement is, but when I want to recharge it, I've got to open up the case and then put the cable in. It just feels different than any other devices I have, because typically it would be on the outside. But since I've got 36 hours usage, it's not really that big a deal, but it just came off weird. But I think they did that because they actually engineered this casing to be like this as a waterproof casing, and I guess in their minds it didn't make sense for it to be on the outside, and I can see that. I can understand that thinking. In terms of its transparency mode, look, the transparency mode is so that you're aware of your surroundings, and it does do that. But you're definitely not going to be able to talk to anyone while listening to music. I don't think that works. If you want to use it and you want to talk to somebody while you're on the run, you're going to have to kill the music at the very least. But transparency mode, yeah, I can hear everything around me. But in terms of somebody actually talking to me, I think there's some cancellation happening because it's not regular or not a hub. I'm not sure. But I found it kind of distracting that when I'm listening to music and then talking to someone. But it's definitely working. Let's spend a moment here and talk about the pricing for these devices. This device is going to go for $349. Let me just double check that. Yep, the T52 True Wireless Sport earphones are going to go for $349 Sing dollars. Now let's compare that to the AirPods Pro. That's going for $379. It's different, right? It's what you're looking for. In terms of audio, I would say they're kind of on an even keel, but for a different profile. In terms of usage, if you're going to use this device specifically for running all the time, this one is definitely the one to go for, simply because it's got the ear wing security in your ear. I feel a lot more confident wearing this. But if you're in it for the I'm an Apple boy, fanboy, fangirl, you might want to go with the AirPods Pro option. But you're not gonna get that kind of security with me. In fact, when I'm using the AirPods Pro, they fall off all the time, or they slip out all the time out of my ear, and that doesn't make sense for sports usage. Um, Verdict: extremely compelling. I would actually think twice of getting the AirPods Pro if I can get these, because the casing itself is waterproof. It's got moisture absorption inside it. They give you the lanyard. The ear tips are actually color coded like this. They give you the ear wings. In terms of what they bundle in together with this device, it's gonna beat the AirPods Pro easily. So if you're thinking about it, I've been using these a lot lately. It's become my kind of daily driver, so to speak. And what's to say? My wife has now taken control over my Apple AirPods Pro. I'm gonna have a word with her for that, because even though I'm not using it as much, still mine. But yeah, that's my review. Thank you.